We're here today in Bangor, near Donegal at the coast of the North Down coast, actually. And we're talking here to the lady who actually won the overall Irish League. I don't know how many legs was there in the league.
I think there were about 10 races in total. It's 7 to 10. Right. I couldn't tell you.
And we talked to Aideen Keenan, who is from now living in Dublin.
I'm living in Dublin. Yeah.
And used to be a long time ago from Longford. That's the way we do it. Okay. Aideen, how did it go for you today? Because by the way, Aideen won today the race as well, and also the overall. So she's the big girl today, really, as such, if you pardon my big, because you're not at all, but anyway, how did it go for you?
It was a very exciting race, actually. Coming into today, I was tied at the top of the league with another girl, Grace Young from Deronda Van Cork, another team, so I knew that I had to mark her very heavily. I'm an attacking rider, so I attacked a lot. I managed to get away, but also Grace managed to end up in the same break as me, so it was very interesting tactically. Obviously, neither one of us wanted to pull the other along. We had two other girls in the break, so it was very interesting at times. Not a lot of people were doing work, so we had the group catching us. I think at one point we pulled out a minute gap, but then it was down to 10 seconds at one point. So I made sure to attack and try to get away and speed up the group at that point. In the end, it came down to a very interesting sprint because the men's race was coming up behind us, and we were among them as the sprint took off. But I was lucky enough to be on Grace's wheel, and I just I took her just before the line. So it was very exciting. It could have been either one of us, but in the end, I took it, and I'm delighted.
Do you do normally all your races here in Ireland? Because to be honest, but I am not very educated in women racing. We will start doing that now from now on. Are you racing most of your time here in Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of I'm interested in racing abroad, but I don't have that much time. I have a family and that kind of thing. But personally, I do. What we've done is in Ireland we've got a women's commission which works hard at getting women's races. It takes a little bit of lobbying among clubs and that, but the National League has been running for the last number of years, and we've had other leagues, and we also run various things around the country. We have a Cork Park League in Dublin, and we've got some things set up around the country to try and encourage women into racing, beginners leagues and things like that. So it is something. It's a niche sport, cycling to start off with, and then women, trying to get them into a niche sport, but it has taken off. And this year, I mean, if you look at Grace, this is her first season and she's done that well. This is my second season, and there's ebbs and flows in women's cycling. You'll have people who experience riders who move on and all of that, but it's been very exciting, and I think overall we've had over 80 riders this year in the league in total, so it's been great, really.
We were in Oma. I'm not sure, were you in Oma as well for the championships?
Excuse me?
In Oma for the national championship, were you there as well?
Fortunately, the week before the national championships, I broke my collarbone, so it was coming up to a very interesting week for me, and I managed to scupper my chances. So I would have been very interested to be in there. Yeah,
I would have noticed you as well if you had been racing there, but that's why I was wondering anyway. So what's the future hold for you?
Well, I'm really enjoying the racing scene here in Ireland. I mean, I'd love to get a little bit of experience abroad. I think it would definitely bring us on. What I tend to do to get experience is race with men here in Ireland, which is something that a lot of the women do. We join in the men's races. We join in races that suit our category. So it's something that, failing there being too many races for women, we always have that as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I think it's gone well for me. I do my local league, the Orwell League in Dublin. I race in as many races as I can around the country, and I do some men's racing as well, and I don't see that I'm going to do anything different next year.
It's a pity that it won't be double today, because Mark Dowling probably will not win the overall, because he's not in the front group there. So otherwise it would have been nice that DID had both winners on the podium.
Yeah, actually, he is from DID Dunboyne, but we're not actually technically the same club. It's the same sponsor, kind of, and there is that kind of mistake is made sometimes.
Great to hear. Now, I wish you all the success. I know if you're a family woman and you have a family, it's very hard to do so. I was talking to Siobhan Hogan a few weeks ago, and it is difficult to do both parts, you know, home. So
Well, I actually have strong feelings on that. I always think that once you've had your babies, you know, it's a case of you're the same as any other family person, be it a man or a woman. You know, it's just a case of making sure you've got good support. I mean, you've got a lot of guys out there who've got children as well. They have just as many commitments as women. I'm lucky enough to have a very supportive partner. We share our training, we share our interest, and I get a lot of support from him. And we also have great grandparents who do a lot of babysitting and things like that. But to be honest, there are a lot of really, really strong riders in the women's scene that have children, and there's there's no reason why it should make it any more difficult, I don't think.
but that means that, like myself, if my wife would race, I would have to change the nappies. I'd draw the line there.
Well, you just have to learn. It's not as difficult as racing your bike. So
Unfortunately, my age is already grandchildren, no more children, you know.
yeah, well, you get the best side of it. You know, being a grandfather, I believe, is really great. So.
Yeah. Thanks for talking to us. It was great to meet you as well, and a lot of success in your career.
Thank you very much.